Hi everyone, this is Jenna returning from Sincerely Jenna, and today I wanted to kind of go over soap making. I think that this is a very good business to start. There are so many ways that you're able to turn that business into other streams of income. So we'll definitely discuss that later on. And I want to kind of go over one of the websites that I have used in the past for my soap recipes and soap supplies and things like that when I was in the soap making world years ago. And that website is Brambleberry. So one of the things that for soap making, you can either create a cold process soap or you can create a melt and pour soap. So I feel like a lot of people nowadays, they are more so going towards the melt and pour soap because it's a faster process in the sense that it's a soap base that you can buy that's already saponified, it's already cured, it's ready to be used. The only thing that you have to do is kind of heat it up, apply your fragrance, apply your colorant if you're going to use any. You put it in a soap mold, you heat it up. First of all, it has to be in liquid form. And then once you've added everything that you're going to add, you pour it into a soap mold, and then you're able to produce your melt and pour soap. Once it hardens, which is a couple of hours later, the soap is ready to use. However, with the cold process soap, that is completely different in the sense that you have to let it cure for 4 to 6 weeks before you're able to use it. And that's because it goes through the saponification process, which is basically a chemical reaction between your fats, which are your oils, and then the lye solution that you're going to have to use, like your sodium hydroxide. That chemical reaction is a saponification process. So you do have to let that soap cure before you're able to use it. However, a lot of people like using this method because it's an old, tried and true method for soap making. And then also you're able to control everything that's in there versus the melt and pour that you're going to buy that's already created. So again, and then if you want to get more into detail about the actual process, like from start to finish, just let me know because I could definitely make a video on that. So in the beginning, the first thing that you would need to do is create an actual recipe. So I actually went to, and it's easier nowadays with ChatGPT. I went to ChatGPT and asked it to create a recipe for a 2 pound soap recipe that was moisturizing. And I asked it to keep it as a simple, beginner friendly recipe. So as you can see, this is the soap calculator. So anytime that you're coming up with recipes for your soap, you need to run it through a lye calculator. You have to run it through the lye calculator so that you're getting the accurate amounts for the lye solution that you're going to use, as well as the water that you have to put in there. Only because if you don't have the accurate measurements and things like that for the soap, it'll be a complete waste. You won't be able to use it, and it won't go through the proper saponification process. And to me, that it's a waste of time, a waste of resources. So you just want to make sure that you're plugging that into the soap calculator. Again, if you want a full detail on that process, just let me know. But I was able to get the ingredients that that ChatGPT recommended for a moisturizing like beginner soap. So those ingredients are going to be olive oil, coconut oil, palm oil, castor oil, distilled water, and sodium hydroxide. So it also gives you different percentages for the lye that you're supposed to use and the water amount that you're supposed to use. But again, I got this from ChatGPT, and with ChatGPT, you should be double checking everything that it's giving to you because you want to make sure that it's right. So even though it provided me those numbers, I am still running this through the soap calculator to make sure that everything is correct. So if you're following along here, you're going to make sure that you fill out number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and then number 5 is going to actually auto update once you plug in the information for number 6. So again, I told you that it recommended coconut oil, castor oil, the olive oil, and the palm oil, and it gave me the percentages. So I just plugged this in directly from ChatGPT. So what I also did was I selected the correct lye. So you have a lye solution that you use for a liquid soap and a lye solution that you're using for your regular soap. So that's this one that I selected, the first option here. Again, I told ChatGPT that I wanted this to be a 2 pound soap. So that's why it's 2 pound here. This will be letting it know the water percentage that I'm going to use versus the oils. So we're just going to keep that selected as the first option, which is going to be the 33%. And also for your super fat, we just leave that at 5%. For my soap calculator, I've used it so many times that it's auto-populated for the 5%. However, if you wanted to change that number, you definitely can. And then from my understanding, what I can remember from this process for number 3, that is the amount of water versus what's in the oils. And you can change that amount as well. I think the lower the percentage, the lower amount of water, which causes the quantification process to go a little bit faster. And then for your fragrance, you're going to put in the recommended amount, even though you want to make sure whatever fragrance oil that you're using the suggested amount from that supplier, from that manufacturer, to put in there, and making sure that it's the correct amount that you should be using for your soap. And again, the super fat is 5%. You can use 7, 8, whatever. You'll figure that out the more that you're actually testing your soap. And then once you go down, like I said, we've already put in the ingredients that we're going to use. And then right here, you hit calculate recipe. Your percentages have to total 100. And again, you can do it by a percentage, or you can do it by pound. I just keep it on percentages. It's easier for me. And then you're going to calculate your recipe. So after you calculate your recipe, you're going to hit view or print recipe. When you hit that, you should get something that looks like this. So this right here is what you will actually print out. So this is what you would follow to create your cold processed soap. So it gives you everything that you need. So for your water, you're going to know for your distilled water that you're going to use 10.56 ounces, your lye 4.57, and so forth. So these are all the things you're going to need as far as like your liquids. So once you come down here, this is going to be more so like your fats and your oils. So it gives you the percentages right here for that as well. 9.6, 3.2. You're going to need to follow these to the T to get the soap that you're trying to make. These properties to the right here kind of go over different things as far as the moisturizing properties and things like that. And the soap bar quality is telling you within that particular range for what this particular recipe represents. So for hardness, your bar is going to be pretty hard. The higher that number, the sturdier or the harder the bar is. It's very cleansing because you have that coconut oil in there. And yes, it is closer to that 22, but because you're using such a high percentage of the olive oil, it will kind of balance out. It won't be so drying. Sometimes the higher the percentage for cleansing, that means it's going to kind of dry your skin out. But I feel like that olive oil will balance it out. I pretty much keep my numbers through there. But again, you want to play with it and figure out the type of bar of soap that you want to create. And these are the other properties for this particular bar of soap. And again, you would play around with these numbers to come up with the exact recipe that you want to come up with. This is all a part of the cold process soap making, process of making cold process soap. And now we're going to go back to Brambleberries. Hi everyone, this is Jenna again with Sincerely Jenna. So I just wanted to kind of go over the Brambleberries website. This is where I used to go to get some of my supplies and products and things like that when I was making soap. And I know that in my previous videos, I was letting you guys know that I'm on this journey of figuring out kind of what I want to do as far as a side hustle or something that I can make into kind of my full-time income. But I know that I've already done soap making before, but I know that many of you haven't. So this is something that I want to introduce to those individuals who have never kind of did anything with like the soap making process or the soap making business or just making soap in general. So this is one of the websites. I would definitely say take your time to kind of read through. It's an amazing website. It gives you a lot of information about the process itself. As you can see right here, if you click on cold process, if you click on the melt and pour, it gives you a lot of information about it. For the sake of the video and time, we're going to kind of go over the kits section. So I wanted to go over the cold process method only because this is the method that I used previously, and I feel like it's, for me, the preferred method because I get to control exactly what goes into the soap. And that way, when I'm having conversations with customers or potential customers, I'm able to tell them exactly what happened throughout the process because I'm the one that made it. And again, with anything that you're doing that's kind of product related, you want to make sure that you're testing that stuff first. You giving it to, like, you can cut it into samples, give it to friends and family or whoever to let them test it out as well and see how it works on their skin or what their opinions or suggestions may be as well. But we're going to look at the Wild Rose soap, and I think this one stood out to me because of the color. And we're trying to keep everything at a low cost because, again, you don't want to spend a whole lot of money on something that you may not even like or may not be interested in once you actually start doing the process. So this kit right here is $62.99, which is still under our $100 budget. So this picture right here is how the soap should actually look once it's cured. This picture right here is of what comes in the actual kit that you're going to purchase, and the video here is really giving you more information about the Wild Rose soap itself. So if you scroll down on the right side, again, you have your whole list of supplies that come with the kit. So you can click on these things individually because, again, if you're considering making the wild rose soap and you want to make it in larger batches, then you would definitely need to order these things separately, but you would order them at a larger quantity. But again, like I said in the previous section on the websites, when I was going over the soap calculator and all of that, you want to make sure that you're running all of that through the soap calculator to get the correct lye percentages and water percentages and things like that. So again, so that you will have a successful saponification process when you're doing this. But again, this includes all the things that you will need to make that soap. And I think that's a pretty good price for $62.99. Now, the only thing that you may need in addition to that would be maybe a spatula, or maybe like you will need a blender for this. So I actually have seen blenders for like $19.99, or you probably can get it cheaper from Walmart, from Amazon, something like that. You would typically need like a scale. Some of this stuff you may already have, but when you're actually creating the soap, you will need a scale so that you're able to have the correct percentages of whatever that you're using. And then you would need well, it comes with your gloves. It comes with, down here you can see it comes with gloves. You will need like a thermometer or something like that so that you can gauge the temperature for all of that. You do have the instructions that come along with this. But again, if you're using like a spatula or something like that, I would use something that's more silicone based, because when you apply that lye water, the lye to the water, and you're mixing it together, that temperature gets very, very hot. That's one reason why you would need like gloves, and some people even use goggles. I think that when you're starting out, you may need to use that. That is a good safety precaution. You can get goggles from the dollar store. And again, I think that even with all of that, because even with the silicone spoons and stuff like that, you can get that from Dollar Tree as well. And this is a good way to start. So back over here at the description, it's giving you a little bit more information and letting you know that these are some easy to follow instructions. I would definitely say look into that. Hi everyone, this is Jenna again with Sincerely Jenna. So I just wanted to kind of go over the Brambleberry's website. This is where I used to go to get some of my supplies and products and things like that when I was making soap. And I know that in my previous videos, I was letting you guys know that I'm on this journey of figuring out kind of what I want to do as far as a side hustle or something that I can make into kind of my full-time income. But I know that I've already done soap making before, but I know that many of you haven't. So this is something that I want to introduce to those individuals who have never kind of did anything with like the soap making process or the soap making business or just making soap in general. So this is one of the websites. I would definitely say take your time to kind of read through. It's an amazing website. It gives you a lot of information about the process itself. As you can see right here, if you click on cold process, if you click on the melt and pour, it gives you a lot of information about it. For the sake of the video and time, we're going to kind of go over the kits section. So I wanted to go over the cold process method only because this is the method that I used previously. And there is one other kit that I wanted to kind of go over in reference to Brambleberry. So if you scroll down, you'll see other kits as well. Just in case you did not want to get started with the cold process soap, you can also go to the one of these soap, which is more of a melt and pour soap. So let's click on that real quick. And again, with the melt and pour, it's more so a soap base that has already been created. The only thing that you're really doing is kind of like getting it down to like a liquid state, adding the things that you wanted to add as far as the dye, the fragrance, things like that, putting it in a soap mold. And then, like I said, in a matter of a few hours or so, you're able to pop those out of the soap mold and you can use those immediately. For instance, this is the watermelon soap kit, and this is only $46.99. So if we scroll down, you're going to look at the kit content, which is the supply list. It's going to tell you, again, everything that you're going to need for this particular kit, or not that you're going to need, but that's included with the kit. So as you can see, this is a melt and pour soap base. So this is clear, and it's clear because you want that vibrant red color when you add that dye to it. And that's the only way that you would get that color, because if you use that white melt and pour, then it may not come out as a vibrant red. It'll be kind of like a pinkish color, because if you add that red and white, it's going to make a pinkish color. So they use that clear for the red. And then to get the black little speckles in there, it looks like they use the poppy seeds, which is right here on the list as well. As you can see, they have the green color block. That's what they use for that green down at the bottom. So that is why they use two separate soap bases, one for that top red, and then the bottom they use the white for just that white line as well as that green line. And again, this contains everything that you would need for that particular kit. And again, this is something that once you make it and it has actually cured or hardened, I won't say cured, but actually hardened, this is something that you're able to use immediately. And I would just say, like I said before, play around with the kits and kind of figure out what it is that you're wanting to do. This right here is a beginner's cold process soap kit. So if you don't have a desire to do the wild rose or even like the aloe, something like that that has like the colors and stuff like that, or fragrances, maybe you can just start with the beginners just to test it out and see if it's something you like. Again, that kit is only $69.99. But if you scroll on down, there are other kits and things like that that you're able to use. This is for a lotion bars, this is for lip balm, and this is for like body butter. So these are things that you can kind of scale up in your business once you decide kind of what your product line is going to be. Again, these are kits, so they give you an opportunity to go ahead and try these out to see if it's something that you're wanting to do. They also have a beginner candle kit. So in the previous video, we went over some candle kits on from, well, not necessarily a kit, but from Nature's Garden that had the supply list and all that stuff. But this is another creator box that you're able to get. It is a little on the pricier side, but look at all the things that is going to come along with that. So I would definitely say give Brambleberry a try, and let me know in the comments if you're going to be creating something from Brambleberry, if you're inspired by this, or comment if you're wanting to see more videos or more in-depth processes when it comes to the soap making processes as far as me actually creating an actual soap. But just keep me posted. Thank you guys.